The Game Awards are causing a bit of rumbling online, but I want to talk about the snubs specifically today and see if there's more of a story here. Up next. What up guys, this is KLO and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video and welcome to the Level Up. So we ran through the full list of Game of the Year nominees for the Game Awards. In case you missed it, I think Baldur's Gate 3 is taking home that title this year for Game of the Year. But at the end of that video, we talked about snubs for this show. And I kind of wanted to expand on that notion just a little bit more here. 2023 has been a pretty damn good year in gaming. And that's partly due to the layover from the pandemic, the rather lackluster year that was 2022. But overall, right now, I think gaming is in a boom period. Now, this causes some games to be left out in the cold, especially when you break down all of the year's biggest releases to just 6. That is an extremely tough thing to do. Like I mentioned in yesterday's video, a game like Starfield was a rather surprising absence for me, and Starfield only went on to get one nomination, being Best RPG. And of course, we talked about a remake being put into the Game of the Year category, and it's something I feel took away from any other game made in 2023, whether it be from Xbox, PlayStation, or even Nintendo. Another game I brought up, which was just another breath of fresh air within the gaming world, was Hi-Fi Rush. But that game went on to get nominations for Best Action Game, Audio Design, Art Direction, and much more, which is pretty nice to see. That was one of the titles I could have seen being forgotten when it came to award season, seeing how it dropped earlier this year. And of course, in yesterday's video, we talked about that famed Xbox tax, but we got other snubs that I failed to mention yesterday. A game that I am very surprised didn't at least get some lengthy consideration for Game of the Year was Hogwarts Legacy. It's pretty crazy to think this game got 0. That's right, 0 nominations in 2023. And when you just look at that game alone, it's pretty damn hard to think of a reason to not at least put it up for Best RPG. But this is all very telling in regards to how the media cast their votes for these games. But hey, this is a gaming news show, so let's talk a bit about PlayStation and this new patent that sounds pretty damn cool. So it recently came out that PlayStation wants to patent this technology that would allow you to launch games from specific points when streaming. Quote, currently if you want to replay a certain moment from a game that's being streamed, you would have to launch the game, then either play through it until you reach the section you want to, or if the game offers a chapter select feature and you have a save file, select the chapter you want to play through. The patent aims to make it possible for players to stream specific moments, be that cutscenes, stages, boss fights, or so on, without having to play through or even launch the game. The article goes on to say, according to the patent, the game would have, quote, trigger points, which would mark sections where the player could start streaming. These trigger points could then be offered as options by the game's developers or by PlayStation, allowing players to select one from the console's front end. This would then launch the game at that trigger point, letting players start from that specific moment. The article goes on to compare this idea to The Last of Us TV show being aired and a new episode coming out. And if you were watching it and thought one specific moment from the show was pretty damn cool, you could then go on to boot up the game and jump directly to that point in time. This is all without having to go through the early areas of the level and skip cutscenes. And I think that's a pretty damn good idea, especially when comparing Sony's efforts in the TV world and gaming world. But yet again, like I always say with patents, just kind of take this with a grain of salt, but hopefully this one gets through. But with all that being said, I'm gonna pass this question off to you guys. What was your biggest snub from the Game Awards? But that about does it here. I've been KLO. I gave you the lowdown on all things gaming, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and this has been the Level Up.